Greetings, love and peace. Question 83. When was the head of Satan taken off? 1453. By whom? Mohammed. Now I found where the scimitar is being held. So this is Noble Drew Ali's scimitar that he used to cut Satan's head off in 1453. But first I want to read statement 157 by Cook Bay. Said the Holy Prophet said, I am a general as well as a prophet. I was Mohammed. Mohammed defeated the Roman Empire. When I conquered Rome, we went in with the sword. You could hear the sword swinging. I cut the head of Rome off, pulled down the flags, sent letters to the other European governments and asked them, was I right? They said, yes, Mohammed, you are right. Just let us have a place to live. Indeed. Then Noble Drew Ali goes on and talks about the European going to the Moorish government, asking to develop land. And the Sheik said, take those Moors, they're not going to do nothing. From the time of Mohammed II, who took Constantinople by storm in 1453, to Abdul Majid in 1864, who deserted it for the more cheerful palace of Dolmabahce on the banks of the Bosphorus, 25 sultans have been imprisoned or murdered, or died by violence within the palaces of the Seraglio. For 400 years, the fate of the sovereign was subject to the caprice of the all-powerful Janissaries. Up to the beginning of the last century, it was the fashion for the Janissaries to decapitate unpopular sultans and ministers and expose their heads upon the pillars of the gate. Now that's the same thing about Vlad the Impaler. It made Mohammed cry. And they say that Dracul, or who they call Kazaklu Bey in the Moorish manuscripts, had his head decapitated and sent to Constantinople. It also happened with the Cornish with their rebellion of 1497. They decapitated their heads and put them on each side of the London Bridge. I have a demonstration on that on the Cornish temple. Exposed their heads upon the pillars of the gate in order that the public might know what had happened. 2 niches on either side of the Sublime Porte, which is the main gateway to the Seraglio, were made for that purpose. Sometimes, however, as a special mark of vengeance or honor, the heads were placed like that of John the Baptist upon the silver charger and left outside where the public could examine them closely. The Greek church of St.Irene, erected by Constantine the Great, which was converted into an armory instead of a quote-unquote mosque, which is a temple, is a venerable monument of the Byzantine quote-unquote style of architecture because it was originally a Moorish temple with the arches and all that. In the museum of the armory is the scimitar used by Mohammed II, Noble Drew Ali, in the siege of Constantinople. The sword of Skanderbeg, the armor of Timurian, and the porphyr tombs of Constantine, Theodosius, Julian the Apostate, and other early Greek emperors. The Shirkin Sharif, or Hall of the Holy Garment, is the most sacred place, for it shelters the mantle of the Prophet Muhammad, which Noble Drew Ali spoke of the mantle. Hold on. The Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Look what I have on. Now this was handed to me by the government. It represents the royal prince. The Holy Prophet wore a mantle of power. There is a chapter in the Holy Quran of Mecca titled, He is Mantled. Now I went through and tried to find the scimitar, and for some reason I just couldn't find it. But we found it, Moors. We know where it was and we know who had their hand on it. Indeed. However, what just came to my heart and mind is I have a video that has Mohammed's fez, that's in the title. And within that museum, which outside it has a Moorish flag, it shows a huge scimitar. So that might be the scimitar. I'll leave the link to that video in the description, Moors Islam. I hope you enjoyed the reading, the demonstration. I leave you in love and peace. Divine honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish divine and national movement of the world, Islamism.